Into tomorrow, we're going to have very gusty conditions developing out of the west-southwest. So then that's going to take especially north-south running roads and make visibility very low at times. So for those of you in LaPorte County, just know that this winter weather advisory, it's not necessarily for additional snow accumulations, but what it is for is going to be for that blowing and drifting snow and reduced visibilities that, of course, could be impacting travel. Your temperatures right now, many of us are sitting in the single digits, but it feels like 5 to 15 degrees below zero. It stays very cold throughout the overnight, and then the next several days around here, temperatures are remaining well below average. Typically for this time of the year, your average high is around 31. We are only looking at teens. I'll have a detailed look at your forecast coming up. Between 5 and 10 degrees above zero for a lot of us. But it's also pretty gusty. We have west-southwesterly winds currently that are up to around 15 miles per hour for a lot of us. But occasionally we're seeing those winds gusting even higher than that. And then tonight we're going to see wind gusts as high as about 30 to 35 miles per hour. So it's going to stay windy tonight through the day tomorrow. Blowing, drifting snow certainly going to be a concern. But also, once you tack on gusty winds to temperatures this cold, makes a really big difference on just how cold it feels to us. So we actually have wind chill temperatures that are sitting about 5 to 15 degrees below zero. Futurecast taking us throughout this evening. We're going to be mostly clear through the majority of the overnight, and then we'll start to see increasing cloud cover going into early tomorrow. So temperatures are actually going to rise a little bit as we approach daybreak. So notice by 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, a lot of us are waking up pretty close to 10 to 12 degrees above zero. And then through the day, we're going to have gusty west-northwesterly winds. So again, blowing, drifting snow going to be a concern tonight into our day tomorrow. We actually have a winter weather advisory across LaPorte County to account for that. So it's not so much for additional snow accumulations, but just because of the hazardous travel that we could be dealing with because of those high winds in combination with all of the snow that we've already picked up. For tonight, 5 degrees for the overnight low, so pretty close to where we are right now. Your 5-day forecast tomorrow, 14. We're at 15 degrees for your high, partly sunny on Wednesday. Thursday, a little bit more in the way of sunshine. We do have a chance for lake effect to develop on Friday into Saturday, so we'll have to watch that closely. Back to you. We have below average temperatures in your forecast all the way through this week. Most days we're looking at highs that are only going to be in the teens, which I do have to say is warmer than what we had today. But regardless, it's going to be very cold. We do have a winter weather advisory that's going into effect for LaPorte County at midnight tonight, lasting until 6 p.m. tomorrow. But not for additional snowfall totals. What this is for is for blowing and drifting snow being expected. So especially for those of you that are going to be traveling east-west running roads, you're going to be dealing with that tomorrow. But tonight, it's going to be all about the north-south running roads with the gusty winds that we'll have. Right now, we have a wind chill temperature of 11 degrees below zero, 18-mile-per-hour winds, and we're going to be gusting as high as about 30 miles per hour tonight. Temperatures dropping down only a few degrees before we start to rise going into our day tomorrow. The next couple of days, mainly dry skies and temperatures only in the teens. Back to you. All right. It's for blowing and drifting snow being a possibility. So out there this evening, we have southwesterly winds. We're going to have really gusty west-southwesterly winds tonight, gusting as high as about 30 miles per hour. Now tomorrow, that's going to shift to be west-northwesterly. So a lot of our north-south running roads tonight, and then tomorrow it's going to be all about the east-west running roads that could be dealing with those whiteout conditions because of blowing and drifting snow. So again, for those of us across most of the area, I think that's going to be a concern for us tomorrow, but we actually have a winter weather advisory that's been issued in LaPorte County for that reason. Your high temperatures today, not very impressive. We only made it into the upper single digits for a lot of us. We tagged 8 degrees at O'Hare, same thing at the Chicago Lakefront, about 10 in Gary, 9 in Merrillville, hit 9 degrees also in Woodstock. Here's what it's feeling like right now. We have wind chill temperatures ranging from about 5 to 15 degrees below zero. It actually feels like 16 below currently in Valparaiso. Now, Futurecast wind chills taking us into early tomorrow morning. Notice how they're actually going to begin to increase. So we have rising temperatures in your forecast late tonight and into early tomorrow as cloud cover begins to build in. Wind chill temperatures when we wake up tomorrow likely going to be running about 5 degrees below zero. And then you'll notice through the day, it doesn't really get much better. So even tomorrow, we're counting on wind chill temperatures likely hovering just below zero. Actual high temperatures are going to be warming up into the teens, not just tomorrow, but all the way through this work week. It's not until this weekend that we're in the 20s, but average for this time of the year is 31 degrees. We're not coming close to that anytime soon. Satellite and radar, things are quiet for now. We have nothing but sunshine out there currently. Futurecast tonight, mostly clear skies, and then we'll see increasing cloud cover going into early tomorrow. That's associated with this frontal boundary, and then that's going to switch our wind direction as well. So we're going from west southwesterly tonight to west northwesterly tomorrow. Lake effect is going to fire up over in West Michigan, not so much for northwest Indiana. I think we're safe from that. For the most part, we may get a couple of those snow showers trying to work their way into northeastern LaPorte County. But again, most areas likely end up staying mainly dry. And then looking ahead to Wednesday, we're going to dry things back out. Skies are going to be partly sunny, but temperatures, they stay very cold. And again, we could be dealing with a little bit of lake effect sneaking into LaPorte County again. For tonight, 5 degrees for the overnight low. We're going to hit that in the next few hours. And then overall tonight, we're going to start to see those temperatures rising. A lot of us by daybreak should be around 10 to 12 degrees. 7-day forecast, 14 degrees for your high on Tuesday, 15 partly sunny on Wednesday, Thursday dry skies. But then some lake effect is going to be possible Friday and Saturday again. High temperatures this weekend will be in the 20s. We'll be right back. Today, we've had wind chill temperatures below zero all day long. Currently, it's feeling like 5 to 15 degrees below zero. And we have another weather alert to let you know about. There's now a winter weather advisory going into effect at midnight, lasting until 6 p.m. tomorrow, just for LaPorte County. But this is mainly for blowing and drifting snow being a concern. There could be a little bit of lake effect that tries to swing down into LaPorte County. I think the overall threat for that does appear quite low, but the main issue is going to be for blowing and drifting snow, because tonight we're going to have west southwesterly winds gusting as high as about 30 miles per hour. And then tomorrow, those winds are going to shift to be out of the west northwest, still gusting as high as about 30 miles per hour. And think about the nature of that snow that we just picked up. It's very light, very fluffy, can very easily be picked up by those gusty winds and blown around. So we could be dealing with travel impacts because of that. Temperatures are currently sitting in the mid single digits. We're going to drop another couple of degrees this evening, and then temperatures are actually expected to rise a few degrees during the overnight. But as it stands, it's cold outside. It's going to stay cold going into early tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, we should be right around 10 degrees, but your highs not looking much better than that. Those details coming up. Cold. We have temperatures that are only in the single digits. We have gusty southwesterly winds, so that's sending wind chill temperatures for a lot of us down to about 5 to 15 degrees below zero. It's currently 7 degrees at O'Hare, 8 at the Chicago lakefront, 7 in Gary, already down to 3 in Valparaiso, 6 degrees in Aurora, same thing in Woodstock. It's 7 in Waukegan, and we're at 4 degrees in Morris. Over the next 12 hours or so, here's where we're headed. So temperatures are actually going to dip just another degree or two before we start to rise going into daybreak tomorrow. So when the sun's coming up tomorrow, a lot of us are actually going to be waking up to temps right around 10 to 12 degrees. So our overnight lows are going to be set just a few hours from now. But do you see the winds? We're going to have west southwesterly winds gusting as high as 30 miles per hour, which means wind chill temperatures once again remaining well below zero, probably pretty close to 10 to 15 degrees below zero most of the night. And then tomorrow, we're still only rebounding to about 14 degrees. Blowing and drifting snow going to be a concern for those of you that will be on the roads tomorrow. On Wednesday, we have partly sunny skies, 15 degrees, dry skies on Thursday. But then on Friday, we could be seeing some more lake effect developing. High temperatures will be in the teens all week. We'll be right back. Average for this time of the year is actually right around 31 degrees, but our high temperatures through the rest of this work week, I don't even think they're going to rise above the mid-teens. And then this weekend, we're still below average with highs that are only going to be in the 20s. The weather alerts to tell you about this evening. We do have a winter weather advisory that's going into effect for LaPorte County beginning at midnight, lasting until 6 p.m. tomorrow. But this isn't to account for new additional snowfall totals so much than it is for the blowing and drifting snow that's going to be possible. So think of all of that snow that we just picked up, especially closer to the lake. It was very light, very fluffy. Well, tonight we're counting on west southwesterly winds gusting as high as 30 miles per hour, gusting as high as 30 to 35 miles per hour out of the west northwest tomorrow. So I think we could be dealing with some travel impacts there. So that's why we have that winter weather advisory that's been issued for LaPorte County. Right now, we have southwesterly winds of 11 miles per hour, a temperature of 7. And wind chills that are down to about 5 to 10 degrees below zero. Overnight low temperatures just a few degrees lower than where we are right now. Then we're actually going to rise to about 10 to 12 degrees by early tomorrow morning. And then your high temperatures the next several days, we're only expected to be in the mid-teens with mainly dry skies. Back to you. 20 miles per hour. They're going to be gusting as high as about 30 to 35 miles per hour tonight. and then they stay very gusty through the day tomorrow. So tonight we'll have a west-southwesterly wind, which means east-west running roads are going to be dealing with some blowing, drifting, reduced visibilities. But then tomorrow we're going to have a west-northwesterly component. So I think we're going to have more of a north-south running road problem for tomorrow. So again, blowing, drifting snow, that's going to be our main concern here, likely over the next 24 to 36 hours. Your high temperatures today, we ended up topping out in the upper single digits. That's about it. Average for this time of the year is at 31 degrees, and we're not coming close to that anytime soon. Wind chill temperatures are currently ranging from about 5 to 15 degrees below zero, and that's about where they're going to stay for the next several hours. And then tomorrow morning by 7, 8 o'clock, I think a lot of us are actually going to be closer to 10 to 12 degrees. So we have rising temperatures tonight, but you'll notice here the next couple of days, we stay very cold. We're looking at high temperatures that are going to be in the mid-teens Tuesday all the way through Friday. Next shot at being in the 20s isn't going to be here until this upcoming weekend. Satellite and radar, things are quiet for now. We are watching this area of snow off to our north and northwest. Most, if not all of that, likely going to travel off toward our north and our east. We could get clipped in LaPorte County, but again, I think for the most part, it's more about the blowing and drifting snow. So Futurecast, here comes another cold front. So we have that reinforcing shot of colder air that's going to turn our wind direction to be out of the west-northwest tomorrow. We'll have skies becoming partly sunny for most of the area. And then looking ahead to Wednesday, Wednesday looks pretty decent. It's just going to be cold. We have to get used to that this week. We're going to be in the mid-teens for highs on Wednesday, but fortunately, I think we'll see at least a little bit of sunshine before lake effect begins to fire up again. It's mainly going to be a Michigan problem, but for those of you in LaPorte County, that could also clip your area on Wednesday as well. For tonight, 5 degrees. We're going to hit that in the next couple of hours and then warm up to about 10 to 12 degrees by daybreak. However, wind chills with west-southwesterly winds gusting as high as 30 miles per hour. Those wind chills are going to stay about 5 to 15 degrees below zero tonight. 7-day forecast, pretty quiet the next couple of days, just windy and cold. We're in the mid-teens all the way through the end of the work week. We do have a chance of lake effect being possible again on Friday, possibly into Saturday, but temperatures this weekend, we're feeling some slight improvements. We're going to be in the mid-20s by Sunday afternoon. Back to you.